Dan, what's going on this Wednesday?
Scott, thank you very much for the intro. Another Wednesday at the office. Grateful for everyone that's coming in here, spending time with our Q&A. I'm not going to do a super long one today, but before we begin, but there is something to show, so that's going to be good. Before we begin, let's do our typical disclaimer. Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor. If you're looking for specific registered investment advice, please consult a registered investment advisor. All the information you're going to hear today from myself, Scott, or anyone else at Trade Ideas is for educational and informational purposes only. Okay, Scott, I'm jumping right to the software. Let me bring about the questions panel. Make sure, hi Mike, Waleed, Bullseye, lots of good friends here. Always happy to see our group. So guys, I'm going to show you something that we've been working on, and it's going to seem, well, I'm going to let you guys kind of understand how it happens and all that good stuff, but there's an idea here that is, how do we help you focus? So like here, these are all the trades today from the AI, okay? Risk off, risk on, and full risk. And risk off, as we've been saying, has been the better marker for overall strategy trading because it's been a very volatile market. Now, however, if you go by the percentages, which you're going to see is some pretty interesting stuff. Had a 10% winner in OSTK today, and this is what it looked like. So this one kind of went right off of the bat and just continued going pretty much all day long. So very nice there. But let me show you what we've been working on. So the idea here is this. What if you, again, you're not necessarily doing automated AI trading. What if you want to focus just on the trades that are profitable and that are open? Well, again, in this case, this doesn't make as much sense because it's aftermarket, but let me just show you here. Profitable trades in risk off mode, okay? So the idea here is when you come in, the losing trades that Holly gets you in are there. There's no question that they're there, and we're not trying to hide them. What we're trying to say is that, and again, I'm just showing you an example because you can duplicate this and able to see all the trades. So you can see all the stuff that didn't work out. That's not the issue, okay? But what we're trying to do is we're trying to separate it out, okay? We're trying to separate it out so that if you were coming in and you're like, okay, let me see what the AI is doing, you would instantly be geared towards stuff that was positive. So you'd be like, oh, okay. So in other words, your attention, this is really just a focus your attention on stuff that is working for the AI. So that things like this, you know, it doesn't require any of your attention because it wasn't working, okay? So during the market hours, you can select, and again, this is in dev mode, so I'm just kind of showing you stuff that's in the hopper. You can select segments, and I have all of them. You know, you can then focus on whichever one you want, but here it's all of them. And then you have a filter that says losing trades. And again, remember I was saying this before, so this is the stuff that's not working. We're not trying to hide it. We're just simply saying that when you're focusing on your attention, you can just focus on the winners and you're more likely to act on them versus having everything in a view that's like this, where again your attention is drawn to this. We're trying to focus your attention. That's really all that we're trying to say. Focus the attention on the profitable trades, and that is now possible through this sort option that you have here. What you're seeing here is we're getting ready to, okay, combine all of the, we're working internally to improve all of the AIs to make them better. But at the same time, we want to change the display so that it's not 3 separate AIs, but they're filtered by segment. Okay, right you have right here. So that it's easier to focus and easier to watch. Does anybody have any questions? Understand what we're talking about right here? Don't anybody say it all at once. Yeah, Waleed, we've been talking about that because again, there's just the notion of, so what does this also allow you to do is that you can take, like, for example, let me just go to my cloud and hit load. Oops. Let me do that again. Okay, so here, for example, I have a top list. I can then create more of a customized workspace in the Trade Ideas AI layout that allows me to customize all of this and give myself just more space to work with things that I want to focus on. Like, you can, let me just go back here real quick and say, okay, we're going to change this and we're going to right click, duplicate, and say pin. Then let's go to the surge, right click, duplicate, and pin. And now I'm gonna go to the AI. So this is the way we have it right now, but you can come over here, right click, say segments, go to all of them, okay? Same thing on the P&L. I'm just showing you how to work around it, segments, all, okay, that's where we were before. But now, I can also create, again, a different customized layout where I have more room. And that's really the bottom line. I have more room, and now I can do that kind of sorting that I wanted to do, which is I'm looking at the profitable trades. So all my attention is always on the winners. And that's, by the way, I mean, if it's profitable, it'll come in, you'll see it. If it stays profitable, you will see it. So it's not, again, like we're trying to hide and only show you the stuff that's working. We're just trying to make it so that psychologically speaking, you're focused on the better information, the right stuff. And now, at the same time, you can quickly pivot. Okay, I see all of the AI trades, but what about the trades in Alpha Predator? What about the trades in social media? So this gives you an opportunity to really have a more flexible workspace, a easier to navigate environment for just a more fruitful hunt of ideas. Okay. Let's see, there's something else. I'm going to show you the new version of the single stock window is being developed. So the version that you see on the right is the old version. The version you see on the left is the new version. Okay. But Now you're going to have more information. Okay, we're adding this data. It's not there yet. There's going to be analyst ratings. You're going to be able to see the social media chatter from StockTwits. All the news will be in the news section. And this is, of course, the information that we've already had. And this will give us an ability to really kind of rethink the whole grid view that we have of the windows, where we're trying to kind of go away from too much information, because again, this is cool stuff, you know, and you can do lots of things with it, but we ourselves feel like it's a little bit overwhelming for people when they're not used to it. So what we're trying to do instead is to come up with a way to focus kind of on the most important things, like one at a time. And in this particular case, remember what we also said, you've got the trade ideas surfing happening, so that as things move, you are instantly alerted to it. This is the crux of what we've been talking about for a long time, which is the software is working to help you surf through these ideas. And I still believe that this is the functionality that's highly underutilized, but it's so powerful, it's so impactful, because what happens is, as this information changes over here, okay, you're still going to be surfing through it. So the idea is, imagine you have a few, and you can see what is being surfed right here. This is currently surfing idea generation. So here it is. Whenever you put it to a stock chart, surfing stops. Move it away, it starts surfing. There's so many very cool, intuitive things that you can do here that are understated, because we focus so much on AI and trying to help you make money, but there's all these smaller, different value add things that are critical for you guys to experiment with. And what I like to do in these sessions is kind of show you that it doesn't take a lot of tweaking to get you to see what's going on. So, Drora, the reason each channel has all the different alert windows is because the alert windows, they're not all alert windows, okay? Some of them are top list windows, that's a T, so it's a top list, T, top, okay? And what that means is that these windows are ranked windows that are sorted by something. In this case, it's changed from the close. And you can sort them by other things like position in 20-day range. This is more for swing trading, and it's very powerful because every stock that you're going to see here is kind of positioned to go in terms of the swing trading time frame. Okay. And lots of very interesting things happening in the market. Very, very interesting things. But the surfing takes you through all of the windows. It'll jump windows. It'll go from this one to this one to this one, okay? And the reason we don't have them in one view is because then you have alert windows which are streaming. So let me do something here real quick. Go back to my cloud, see if I can find an alert window. Okay, so you see this is an alert window, and if you go to the history, you can see all the different stocks that were halted and had to resume, okay? Notice the timestamp. That's different than this window, the top list window, because the top list window is sorting it every 5 seconds. It's just redoing the window, and whatever comes up, it'll be sorted by your sort order. So these are just different types of windows, and the windows allow you to see information differently, and that's really the general gist of why you can't condense it into just one window. Although, let me go back to my cloud here, see if I have one of these. So we have another window called a multi-strategy window. I'll load this up real quick. This is kind of cool because this is one that I've used for a long time. It's sort of like the counter that we have here, but it's basically counting intraday highs and lows and color coding them. And it's made up of, look at all the different strategies. 5-minute highs, 10, everything's color coded. So that's how you combine the timestamp windows into one window. That's what you would use the multi-strategy, and you would say File, New, Multi-strategy window, and do it. And there's tons of videos that we have on YouTube that can show all of you guys how this is done. I mean, again, the quality of education that we have is bar none. Every day there's a continuation of curriculum, webinars, videos. We have Barry's trading room that's there all the time to help people just get more and more value out of the software. That makes sense? Thank you, Waleed. Okay, I'm trying to kind of go through the questions here. Yeah, right now, FDA announcements I don't think are planned into the into this window, but possibly as an alert when that happens, we could potentially create something like that. I'm just not sure what is the proper data source for that sort of a thing. So let's just kind of go through once again real quick that, remember guys, we have a channel for virtually everything. We have an active trading channel right here that is super powerful in terms of giving you ideas on the fly as things are happening, using some of our best filter technology for bounces. So biggest bounce on losers right here. So these are stocks that are going down but are bouncing. Adora, thank you. We'll keep, Scott, take a link to that website, and we'll discuss that as a possible source. Thank you. So here you have stocks that are losers but are bouncing. And here you have stocks that are winners but are pulling back. So this is, again, just a really powerful utilization of our technology in a very simple way. Lots of information coming through this this window. Lots of information. But this is that multi-strategy derived data stream, and here you can again look and see all the different things that we have here: 52-week highs and lows, moving averages. The idea, ladies and gentlemen, is that we've already done the pre-configuration for you so that you do not have to worry about the setting it all up. You can always right-click, duplicate, make it your own, and possibly change anything that you want. Okay? So it's very easy to start with what we have and then shift it. Let's see here. So the red bar ignored and green bar ignored. It's looking for a specific pattern. Let's see if there's, yeah, right during market hours, it's not a great, during off market hours, it's not a great thing to demonstrate. And that's one that's not the one that I particularly use all the time. That's one of the favorite of our trading room moderator, Barry Anderson, who runs our trading room, and that trading room is available all throughout the week. So you should please visit that. That'll be on the section of the PowerPoint as I get back to that. But the idea is red bar ignored. In other words, the stock has a seller that's coming in, but that seller is then ignored and it continues higher. And then green bar ignored is the opposite, where you've got sellers, a buyer comes in, and that buyer is eaten up. So Okay, so Kirk, let me show you the options channel. Thank you for asking. So here now, notice every channel that you click moves into the upper corner, and you've got the on, so you know you're on this. So calls, and more calls. So these are stocks with the highest put call, or rather the lowest put call ratio. So it means lots of calls that are in play. And also you can see the options volume today. So the idea here is we're showing you everything that is being unusually traded on the options side. So here, with the put call ratio at 0.44 call volume, somebody thinks, okay, that this thing is possibly going to do something maybe good, so they're buying up a ton of calls. Notice the Trade Ideas AI has had a sell on this in January, and then another one just recently in May, and both of those in the longer term have definitely worked out, which brings me to a whole other issue, is that behind the scenes we are aggressively working on the swing trading channel, the swing trading AI, which is going to help you see data for a more longer term perspective. So in terms of, Kirk, in terms of the options activity, do you kind of see what we're doing here? Does it make sense to you? So here, somebody knows. Okay, so it's really impossible to determine long or short. The idea is that you have to make an inference based on, and here you can tell it's the call volume. And again, you cannot tell which option strike price because we're doing it purely on the stock, but the idea here is simple. You notice that this is being traded an unusual amount. You notice the call options are just being traded a lot. And you go and you look up in your brokerage platform, and it will then show you which are the options that are doing it. Steve, to get the AI, you need our premium subscription, and we will have a link for you with a discount code to sign up. So do not fear, we will have all of that for you. Okay, so again, on the options side here, we've got call volume, unusual call volume, unusual put volume, and overall options volume. And then of course, we have this multi-strategy window, which is showing you movement, moving lower with unusually strong options volume. So that's the idea. Like then you come in, you look it up, you look it up on your brokerage platform, and you see, oh, okay, well this thing is going down. Are people buying calls or are they buying puts? You know, what's going on? And you can change the configuration of this as well, so that you can put up the call volume today, etc. So that's the starting point, and the idea for us is just to give you a high-level heads up. Like, where are people, like this CCO, okay? I mean, look at the options volume today percentage-wise. I mean, look at this, something crazy is going on here. So that's the kind of information you generally want to just see and understand and kind of do your own further analysis, which is where we give you. Drora, I think you're talking about equivolume kind of graphing. We don't have that right now, although that has been something that we have discussed. But right now, our stuff is just standard candlesticks, okay? Just standard time frame, and you can right-click. You can switch it to daily, monthly, weekly, 15 minutes. So you can quickly move about, including 1 minute. Now, I'm going to show you guys, like, really what is the foundation. So Steve, again, we can't, so here on the call volume, do you see that? So that's so I know we have that field, so I can see what the call volume is, and since the put call ratio is this, and this is a window we designed for specifically to show you lots of call volume, that's how you know these are calls. Okay. So let's continue. After hours, this is where we are right now. Market's closed. Okay. But things are moving. Market is closed, but things are moving. And this is where you're going to see all the things that are moving up and down post-market. Okay. We have a color code that you can see. So it's sort of like sunrise and sunset. The sunrise is right here, kind of orangey. And then the sunset is right here. So, Dror, remember the AI, the way that we have it displayed right now looks like this. Okay, so this is probably what you're talking about. And that's the standard AI that we have on display. If again, if you're using the word AI the way I'm using it. So we're just talking about changing, consolidating this information, not getting rid of any of the data, just making it easy for you guys to see it. So I have a development version. So my version's got anything and everything that you can possibly imagine. So what you want to do is, if you want to send a screenshot, shoot that screenshot to support and they'll answer it for you. But understand that I'm working with a completely different version of the product that most people are working with. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Okay. So let me show you what kind of powers the AI. And this is something that I do relatively often, you know, to just give you an idea of how interesting the market is, and that you really need to have statistical analysis to have an advantage, which is what we bring to the table. So here I'm showing stocks that are at least up 1% for the day. Their 5-minute volumes 300%, and volume today is 300,000. And I'm going to say relative volume is at least 50% above normal, and I hit OK. So this is what this looks like. But the question then you have to ask yourself is, how do you know this is a tradable system? So I'm going to hit back test. I'm going to start 15 minutes after the open, and I'm going to say day after tomorrow. Okay, so it's like a little bit of a swing strategy. And I'm going to hit simulate buy. So here's what you see. You know, this is kind of like the way that we build swing trading strategies. And if you, or any strategy for that matter, but I'm just trying to show you guys that you can ask questions, okay, with our artificial intelligence. This is for on the premium side of the product, of course. You can ask questions like, okay, what about 2 days? So a total of 3. And you can see, well, does it make better or worse sense? Is there some sort of an optimization? Where am I, you know, what's my best little swing time horizon? And again, you can analyze this data and all of this information you can do. What I'm trying to show you is look how quickly I'm going through the numbers. You know, you have a calendar map. You can see how it did, you know, obviously the markets was tough before, then it started to pick up. and you can see what it's doing right now. And you can play these what if scenarios using the premium version all the time. In fact, you can do it intraday. So let's talk about holding it just to the close. Well, Steve, the AI is all for day trading. Okay. So here you can see that like there's a lot more randomness in that alert in terms of just for a day trading strategy. But if you, let me move over here. Okay, so if you want to go to the odds maker drawer, let me show you. It's very simple. Have an alert window. So go to new and then alert window. Open one up and then you right click and you select back test strategy. It's very simple. And then you have entry, you have timed exit. You can say, okay, how about if I held it for 30 minutes? So that you can play around and see where is the optimized data. Like, where am I doing better on this strategy? This is in essence what we have done for you when we work with this. So all of these strategies have been pre-optimized. They've been designed already with all of the statistics built in to show you what is the best way to work your money. And here's what it is. You can see here on the day trading side, 28 cents to 23 cents. You know, not a lot of slippage. I mean, not a lot of room to move. So okay, every single, there's not a specific strategy window that you're going to find in any of the channels. You can just go to any alert window, anyone, say file, new, alert, and then open one up, and you can test anything that we have. The strategies, which are here, they're in the AI part of the window. This is part of the premium product. Does that make sense? Thank you, Waleed. Waleed, I know you know. Don't you worry. Okay, let me show you something else. Click duplicate, configure, then we have this thing called flip. It takes everything that you've done and it inverts. Okay, well, is there a way to trade the downside? Okay, do the same thing. Let's do timed exit, 30 minutes. And you can also try the other way, run again and say simulate buy. So you can say, is it better to buy bottoms? All of these things, the idea is that people who use the premium version of our product, they have got the ability to kind of test and create and pick and choose almost anything they want. And also there's the optimization levels here, okay? Where you can see, okay, well, which, stocks did the best? And you can, and this is again, the kind of things that really work to say, okay, in this case, wow, some of the morning stuff didn't work that well, but 7 to 8 was really good. So now, just going by what we learned, we can go run again, and we can say, okay, 7. And then like this, and I forgot which way I went, but hopefully we'll see. Do you see what I mean? So do you see? Yeah, thank you. So what I'm trying to show you guys is this is a little bit of an example of how I just ran through a bunch of scenarios and came up with, well, here's the optimum time frame for that strategy. Just by simply going to our optimization table, and this is the stuff that is already, 5-minute intervals. Time of day. Time of day is one of the most critical things because, again, you want to be just trading at the best time of day when this thing happens. And what you find out is these are the moves that are being made by the institutional buy programs or whatever it is, they have certain time frames associated with them, okay? And so that's how it's done. So here again, I did breaking out on volume and then flipped breaking out on volume. So this is going down on volume, this is going up on volume. And I was able to show you that you can back test both of those. I don't need to do the same thing in this particular case, where I'm going to say simulate, I'm going to say simulate sell, fading it, just see what happens. Okay, see, and that's been the kind of market that we've had, but I'm going to go to optimization, time of day, and say, okay, this one's better, 9 to 11, or actually even 8 to 11. So now, once again, I'm going to go 8, and I'm going to go 11. And I'm going to hit simulate sell. Correct. Steve asked the golden question. Steve, all of our alert windows, they look at all stocks. So you're looking not just, remember, this is the difference between ourselves and TradeStation and everything else. We're watching everything all the time. So you are looking at all these stocks that went through this window today. You're testing all of them for the setup. So it's not just one stock. You're testing everything at the same time. No, but there is not a single product in the market that is like this. Not one. Not one single product. And again, we've been doing this for quite a bit of time, and to this day, only we are able to give the kind of testing that you can literally test anything. You can test your moving. Let me do one more real quick. Configure. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to select an alert. You can search. I'm going to say 20-day. Crossed above the 20-day moving average. I'm going to add this alert because it's just something that people know. You know, I'm going to say relative volume of 2. So it means it's crossing up the 20-day moving average on 2 times normal volume. 20-day SMA 2x relative volume. And again, just any time frame. Remember, I'm in California, so that's the kind of time frames you see. And just take a look and say, okay, well, does this make any kind of sense? You know, not terrible, but when we go optimization, time of day, okay, interesting. So this is one of those ones that looks kind of good early in the morning. So let's run it again and say 6:30 to 7. Remember, this is not the kind of telling you, well, this is the thing you need to trade. I'm just showing you how people ask themselves questions. So, Steve, you might want to think broader. All of our alert windows are doing things by filter basis. In other words, when you're looking at this alert, it's looking at every stock where the moving average is crossing above the 20-day, and every single stock at the time that it happens. So there's no symbol list. We're looking at everything. And when it happens, we report it. And this is what it looks like if you go to history today. These were all the stocks that we tested for you. So we're testing a system. We're testing it for you. And you can create a symbol list of just a few if you want, because you can right click, you can, I mean, again, when you configure this, you can say create a symbol list. And then when you create that symbol list, you can add it to this window and have this window when you configure it, for example. Notice I have symbol lists here. There's a bunch of different ones. You can exclude stocks. So you can add your own symbol list if you want to watch just a specific few. But the idea here, add existing symbol list, see like biotech, 3D. Yeah, you can pull up charts. Let me just go to a different channel real quick. So here, it's scrolling through charts for you, boom, boom. And you can go to new chart window. There you have it. You can right click, you can pin it so that it stays there. So all of that stuff is easy to do and you can do it. All right, guys. The main thing I wanted to really coordinate today with everyone is the fact that we've got this new filtering coming where you can see just the losing trades or just the profitable trades so that you can focus on what's really moving, okay? And that's going to be critical for everybody. And then we're going to combine the view and make it something that you guys are all going to love. It's going to be super detailed and easily more accessible and easy to focus for you. So let me get back into the PowerPoint. Okay. For those of you that do not have our technology, just know that we are a subscription-based service. If you subscribe today, there we have Summer of AI, 15% off of your first month or the year of trade ideas. This is how much it costs on a per day basis to use our software, okay? $3.90 a day standard and $7.50 a day premium at the most expensive level. That's if you're paying monthly. So just think about that in terms of your lunch. You know, people often say to us, oh man, your product's so expensive. But you're talking about a Starbucks Frappuccino right there, okay? It's really not that expensive at all. And on the yearly, you're talking about $3 a day for the standard version and $6.20 a day for the premium. That has all the AI and the RBI, GBI, and all the other premium windows. And again, and if you need to have a further breakdown of all the windows, please visit our website, and all of that information is there. We have a trading room, which is a great meritocracy where people learn how to access trade ideas and learn from other experts at it. Easy to find. At the very top, you can see trade-ideas.com/trading room. We have a podcast that my friend Jamie Hodge and I do on Fridays, and would love for you guys to tune into it. Look it up on your podcast search. I believe you have to put in the dash in there, most likely. But it would kind of spin a little fun, do it a little bit less seriously than we do some of the other stuff, although I think we kind of like to have fun here too. So Drora, as I'm finishing up, shoot an email to support and somebody will answer that question for you. It would be super easy. Okay, so let me back up real quick, first question. So I want to show you guys all, for those of you that aren't aware, the AI has a timestamp and a symbol, and this is where it tells you to buy. Also, there's an arrow that appears on the chart signifying the price level. Okay, you can see that every single place. There's a timestamp. This is when the signal came across. Entry price. This is the price of the signal when it was generated. Okay, so all of that info here. This is the great one today. Right here, blue line. And so as this appears, like obviously OSTK wasn't up that much. So you would have seen the same blue line. Here's the candle. It points to the candle where the alert took place. the timestamp, and entry price, and in fact, the suggested shares based on how much you want to risk. So we have this tool in the AI where, one second. Okay, in the AI trade size, I put in how much do I want to lose per trade if I'm down and I get stopped out. You can put any number in there you want that you're comfortable with. You can say, I want to lose $65. Hit apply, and it automatically, oops, my version, don't worry about that. It automatically adjusts your share size for everything. So do you understand how the timestamps come in there and all that? So you see it exactly where it took place. There's just, because of the timestamp, there's no way to hide it, which is one of the things. We can't hide from our mistakes. When something doesn't work, everybody still sees it. So we have an ebook out for people, trade-ideas.com/ebook that can show you how to trade the market when it starts to come down. So you have, there's the percentage and the dollar. In terms of how much you're down, we give it to you in dollar terms so that you know how much you're losing. And risk is in dollar terms. The risk number is how many dollars per. Now, mind you, okay, you can do it on a dollars per trade, shares per trade, or risk based on stop in terms of dollars. Okay, but you're not going to be wanting to risk 5% per trade, so that's why we put in a dollar amount instead. Okay, but you can test all of it, 5,000. So now it adjusts all of my size. So this is if I was doing $5,000 per trade. This is what I would have made. See, if I'm putting $5,000 per trade, and again, there's just different ways for you to do it. Okay. So back to the presentation, and we're kind of finishing up here. Easy to get a hold of us at Trade Ideas on Twitter, at Quanbot, at Today Trader. Please like us on Facebook, and if you need to, give us a call. This is our phone number, and of course, shoot us an email at info@trade-ideas.com. Scott, how do we do? I think we're pretty much wrapped up.
Yeah, sounds good. We're going to have a recording up later on tonight or tomorrow, so if you missed anything, stay tuned for that email reminder. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, Steve, please shoot an email to info@trade-ideas for all questions that I didn't cover. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this broadcast and attending our presentation. Thank you.
Have a good one, everyone. Later.
Thank you. Have a good one.